right, good morning, students. We're ready to do for lesson 107. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Oh, I don't even go into that list, but you'll see them on the left side of my board here. These are the ones, I think there's 11 of those. Start off on problem number 6. And we are finding the equation of the line that passes through the point. In other words, we're going to put the line, and then we're going to find a parallel line with that. That's basically what we do. Here's our original. 1 equals 2x plus 1, and they are giving us, well, let's just do this. So first off, we're going to find this line. So we have a positive 1. Is that right? And then this is a positive line, so we're going uphill, and we're going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, 2 over 1, and down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Here's our line, and they want us to find a line that's parallel using these points, and this is the critical thing right here. Change it. -2 and a 3. Basically, what we're going to do is change this position. Positive 1 is going to be a different number. This is called the B position. The B doesn't mean anything more than that. Just remember that's the B position. So we're going to change that by using this. Here's what we're going to do. Where X is at, we're going to put this X. You understand? This is the X. So we'll put that as -2. And where the Y is at, we're going to put this number. That's the Y position, right? So we can do this 3. Here's what we do. We take 2 times -2, that is -4. And then we move that back on this side, go past the equation line, it becomes a +4. So we add these two together. +4 and a +3 is a +7. We change this number here, this B position, to this new number of 7. Understand? So watch this. I'm going to put this 7. Now we have y equals, we go back to our original slope was 2. And all we've done now is change that. Is that clear to you? That, if you count this up, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goes out the top of my chart. It's up here. That still should work, and it's still a positive slope. And it's 2 over 1 again. So I go down 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. I'm sorry. I'm saying this backward. 2, 1. And here's my slope. Goes all the way across. Is that a parallel line? Supposedly it is. So that's what we're learning today. Now we have another one to do like this. Hey, try to think through this yourself now. What we're doing, we're simply making a parallel line. And I'm going to read how it says this. Number 7 says, find the equation of the line that passes through the point O and 1 and is parallel to the line whose equation is 1 equals -1/2 x -3. Now you do not have to draw this on a graph. I'm just doing this to demonstrate it. Here we go on y equals -1/2 x, that negative, very plain, -3. Okay, we'll graph that. 1, 2, 3 is where we start starting point. This is a downhill, and it's 1 over 2, so I'm going 1, 2, understand, 1, 2, 1, 2, up 1 over 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's my line. And we're going to create a line that's parallel by changing, what are the points they give us? They give us the points of 0, right over here, and 1. Correct? You see that? 0 and 1. Again, what position is this? Is this the X or the Y? That's the X. So where X is at, I will put 0. And where the Y is at, I will put right here. Let me put a positive Y so it stands out. Okay, so now I do where this X is, we multiply -1/2 times 0 remains no, and its number of times another 0 is a 0. So I put the 0 back over on this side, which does not change it. 0 plus 1 is 1, right? And this was the B position that we are changing, so we change this -3 to a +1. Understand? A +1. change this back to our original x. The only thing we've changed is we've gone from a -3 to a +1. This is back to y. Makes sense? Now we're going to see if it's parallel. We go up here and find +1. And we go again, we go downhill, down 1 and over 2, down 1 and over 2, down 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2, up 1 and over 2. We have just created a parallel line. That is your new for today. That's lesson 107. Number 8, find the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. These are ones that we worked on yesterday. And if you remember, we first start with the equation. Who remembers it? y2 minus y1, y2 minus y1, still with me, over x2 negative x1. That's what I had asked you to fill into your practice set back here. Yep. That's how we find the solution. So they're giving us a -3 and a -2 and a 5 and a -3. What does this mean out of these equations? Well, just for the sake of understanding this is just ordered pair 1 and this is ordered pair 2. Y2, this is your y position. Is that correct? Y position is -3. Minus the y position over here is a -2, and if you say -2, then it's going to be a +2, which equals a -1. Now I have -1, and then on the x position, this is your x2, so that's a 5. -3 is a +3, correct? What do I have here? 8. So my final slope is, this was kind of confusing. Let me just rewrite this. 5 +3 equals 8. So now we have a -1/8 slope. Y equals -1/8 x. We'll erase all of that. Do you have that in your head? How we came up to the one? Yes. Okay. Now we will substitute to get this B position out here. That's our next step, to get the B position. You can use either one. I'll choose to do this one. Makes no difference which one. This is going to be, this is your x right here. We'll do where the x is at, -3. So I'm going to go -3 over 1, where the y is at. Right here, I'll put a -2 over 1. Okay, here we do the multiplication. So I got 1 times 3 is 3, 8 times 1 is 8. I have a negative and a negative, so that's going to be a +3/8. I move it back on this side, right here. Take it back on this side, and it was a positive. Now it's going to become a -3 over 8. A lot of memorization here. What do we do with these two numbers? We add them together. We have to have a common denominator if we're going to add something. So if we change this 1 right here to an 8, that changes my top number to 16. Now we have a -3 and a -16 is a -19 over your common denominator. That is a lot of mixed up numbers all in there, but let me rewrite it, and as I rewrite it, you remember if our final equation is y equals, remember this number right here, we had solved for this, -1/8 x, and then we have this final number for the B position, -19 over 8. That's your final answer. These are about as time consuming as any problems we've ever worked, I believe. That was number 8. Number 9. Again, I'm going to write out this formula. Remember the formula, and do it before I do it here. It's going to be y what? Y2 negative y1 over x2 negative x1. Give us our two ordered pairs, 5 and a negative 1, and 0 and 0. Okay, this is, up here the y's, these are your y positions, right? So I take a 0 where y2 is at, that's a 0. And this is the opposite of negative 1, is a positive 1. O plus 1 is a positive 1. Then go down into the bottom. x2, here's your x, and negative 5. Negative 5. 0, negative 5 is a, this is 1 over negative 5. So here we go, negative 1 over 5 is our is our slope. That makes sense. I hope this is so much to memorize. I hope you can get all this in your head. Let me rewrite it. Just what we've accomplished this. Y equals negative 1 over 5x. Now we need to solve for the b position. So we substitute. If we substitute this set of the ordered pair here, here is your x, 0. Put that 0 right here. And here is your y, 0. Now then, we multiply 1/5 times 0 is 0. Are you with me? Put the 0 back on this side. 0 plus 0 equals 0. So we really are back to, I'm going to rewrite it now with y equals negative 1/5 x plus 0. What do we do when it has a plus 0? We erase it. There is your final answer on number 9. I'm glad we don't have 20 of those. And number 11. Now we're going to get into something that, well, I don't know, this is complicated too. We are into some pretty deep stuff right now. Plus 2c, negative 2m2, negative kc. Okay, so we will look at these 4 and pick out the ones that go together. I'm seeing a k, m2, and then this one has an m2 also. Let's try that, negative 2m2. Factor out the m's, 2's. So I have an m2. That leaves me with a k negative 2. Whoop. K negative 2. That's correct, right? All right, so now we have these two to go. If I factor out, I did a k. This is going to be a little tricky here. Negative kc plus 2c. We're going to factor out the c's and also the negative to make this become a k. Changes the sign of this, and now we have a negative 2. That is a difficult one. M2 negative c and k negative 2. That having to add that negative sign in there was tough. Okay, there's our answer. Oh, I wish I could be talking to you just right there in the classroom. 11, number 12. 6a negative xya negative xyb plus 6b. What are we going to combine here? Let's think. Let me think. Sometimes you can look at the whole numbers, and on this whole equation, all I see is sixes. So I just believe that these sixes are going to go together. Let's see if that works. So I have a 6a plus 6b. Factor this sixes out, and I end up with the a plus b. But always remember, if something doesn't work, we can go back and redo it. Now I have this one. If I would factor out x, y, and both of these are negative, let's factor out the negative also. That leaves me with the a. It's going to change this sign, a plus b. So I have a 6 negative xy and an a plus b. And that is number 12. And number 13. ABX. That was a bad hit. DX negative 2YC plus XC negative 2YAB. Again, I see these whole numbers. That sometimes triggers it off here. Let's see if that would work. If we would take ABX. We factor out out of these two, we could factor out the y's in the 2. Let's try that. Negative 2y leaves us with C plus AB. Actually, when we factor out the negative, it's going to change. I don't like, we can't end up with, we can't have this negative here. That's my problem. We'll start back over. Let's do these two right here. ABX plus XC. But out of this, we can factor the X only, and that leaves us with AB. Let me do it this way so you know that these are together. That leaves us with AB plus C. So out of this, we gotta some kind of way make the same AB plus C. If we take the negative 2 out of that, and negative 2y, we end up with AB, and we've changed plus C. AB plus C. Is that the proper thing to have? Let's see if it is. That's going to be an x, negative 2y, and an AB plus C. That is right. I'm sorry. I'm probably being a bit confusing here, but these are difficult. The main things we want two equations when we get through, and that we can multiply back together. Number 14. 4xn plus AB n negative AB m negative 4xm. I am seeing the n's here together, and the m's are here together. So maybe that's what our key is here. We'll see. All right, so let's try these two right here. I'm going to factor out no, I can't factor anything out of that. Wrong. I don't think I made a good choice. Here, let's try this one then. So we got an ABN and ABM. That makes sense. Let's try those two. So we're going to factor out, let me just do this. If we factor out the AB, we end up with N negative M. All right, and then we're going to do these, and we can factor out 4x, and we end up with, again, N negative M. There we got it. So we got an AB plus 4x and an n negative m. That's number 14. Number 16, find m. Put that at the top of your block. That's what we're solving for. And solving with a common denominator is going to be a ky plus xm equals pmy. We're solving for m, so we're going to get the m's together on the same side. We will switch that around over this side. That's going to change this sign to a negative xm, and I can take this out here, right? Okay, now we will factor this out, equals m. We have a py negative x. If we put this py negative x under this, we have solved for m. Number 19. This one, well, the only reason I'm doing 19 for you is the possibility that you cannot figure out what that common denominator is. Here are your denominators, 3x and an x and a 5. What is our common denominator? Let's just look at this. What will both of these numbers go into? 15, and then we have an x. 15x is your common denominator on number 19. Okay, then, so if I have a 15x and I have it under this x negative 2, I have a 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times, so I'm going to change this to a 5x, and 5 times negative 2 is a negative 10 equals, I'm missing the 15, so 15 times 4 is 60. And on this side, I'm 15, 5, that 5 goes into 15 3 times, so I'm going to have a 3, plus I'm also missing the x. There's the final. I guess we'll solve from this. So I have a 5x and a negative 3x on opposite side. I move this one back over here. That's going to change this sign to a positive. So now I have an 8x equals, to put this negative 10 on this side, that makes this a 70. Put my 8 underneath. And carefully look at that. That can be reduced to x equals 35 over 4. Not so difficult once you find out what the common denominator was. One more time, what is it on 27 I'm looking at? No, on 27, all I'm going to do is just help you solve for A equals, B equals, and C equals. In case you struggle with this one. Once I get these, I'm going to let you go. You finish the rest of it by yourself. Okay, A. If you notice on A here, it says that all of that on the left side equals 9. Okay? And right on this side, we have a negative 3. So wouldn't you agree to me that this number minus 3 should equal 9? What should that number be? 12. 12 minus 3 equals 9. So in other words, this A over 3 needs to equal 12. How can we do that? What number divided by 3 equals 12? I'll suggest 36. 36 divided by 3 equals 12. We have just solved for A. 36. And that's already gave us this one. Now we're going to C. C is about as difficult. Try these on your own, and then you can watch this. But it says that 4C plus 11 equals 9. So again, this equals 9, just like A did. And on this side, it has a positive 11. So what must this be to equal 9? Do you agree with me that negative 2 plus 11 equals 9? That's correct. Okay, so our 4C here, 4C has to equal negative 2. 4 times what is going to make us equal negative 2? Can you think through that a bit? 4 times, how about I'm going to suggest a negative, to make this a negative, and how about a 1/2? 4 times negative 1/2 does equal negative 2, just like that. So, what is C? Negative 1/2. Now you fill those in for your A, B, and C's there. And remember, we have a plus and a minus, so we're going to have two different answers. You're going to have whatever this is plus this, whatever that is. Carefully keep your negatives on your 1/2. Do it. If you take your time and get those numbers in there right, you can do it. You'll solve for it. And I'll just give you a little bit of a hint. When you get all through here, this should equal 121, and then the square root of it is 11. But you figure that out yourself. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day again. These lessons are getting up here. Let's look at this. We're on lesson 107. We are getting close to the end. 120 minus 107. What is that? If I do my math right, this is difficult, but I believe it's 13 lessons left after today. How do you like that?